mistakes I have made pretty recently about traveling. I'm going to share with you. It's going to be a long one. Well, maybe not so long. Okay, just today I made a big mistake. I had a feeling to just sit at a coffee shop and wait for my train, but I was so early. I do that. I come hours before because I'd rather be at the place than miss it. So anyway, I'm in France now, and a smaller town, nice train station. I thought, well, I'll just go. Well, I discovered there was an earlier train a half an hour earlier, and I thought, well, I'll just get on that one. And what happened was, so don't do this, I had already paid for my ticket, an hour ticket ride, an hour train ride. My ticket was $30 or $35, which is too much, I think, but that was the low price. And then the guy comes around, the conductor, and says, you're on the wrong train and you have to pay $70. I tried to get out of it, but he just ignored me. It was just like, give me your credit card. This isn't going to work for this train. Like, it was half full. Okay, so that was a mistake, a $70 mistake. So my point being, be sure about the rules for your transportation. Oh, and in fact, always book your transportation first, because you can have a bad... I know this has happened to me, but I can't think of a circumstance where you book the lodging and then you find out you can't get to the place. So then you're screwed. So make sure you're going to do your transportation first. Okay, so that was number one mistake. I'm going to have to change my Wi-Fi situation. I don't have a foreign SIM card, so if I'm ordering an Uber, which I've only done once, the whole 7 weeks I've been gone, I've walked and taken trains and some buses. And so we kept going in and out of connection, which was very frustrating. But I was glad that I did it, because I just couldn't deal with the Paris Metro after that whole train situation and being charged more money. But in a way, it gave me an extra half an hour, because the airport was just crazy. If you're going through Paris, oh my God. It was only before 12 noon, and the lines for security and going through a passport. I recommend, if you're older, get one of those wheelchair things, because you sail right through. Okay, so what? You pay extra. You're going to get through fast. I didn't do that. I have done it twice, and I would do it again. So that's something to be aware of. And then, what else have I screwed up? See, I'm still learning. I need to know more French. Thank goodness so many people know English, but I kept trying to speak French and it would come out Italian. No, don't do that. Okay, and then for lodging, I broke one of my rules. I was trying to communicate with the person I had booked with for the apartment in Reims, France, outside of Paris, and they didn't get back to me. And that was a red flag. If the people don't get back to you, then that means there's going to be a problem. And I liked that apartment, but there were many problems trying to get into the place. So another thing that I recommend is, if you're going to rent an apartment, a lot of people will actually meet you. Maybe it's in the minority, but I think it's best, to tell you the truth, because then you find out how to run things, where everything is. Something to consider, I'm going to have to move now. Something to consider is touching base and having locals, and trying to speak the language, and not just hanging out with expats. Like, go to things where you're going to meet local people, meetups, language things. I didn't do it that much this time, because I really did want to spend time on my own. And also, I did meet a lot of cool people, so I had some wonderful conversations. I wish I could be heard right now. And so that's something that could be a mistake. So don't do that. So lodging, transportation, flights, what else? That internet thing was really annoying this time.
Mesdames et messieurs, votre attention s'il vous plaît, nous vous rappelons que nous sommes en cours et fin d'embarquement de votre vol Air Algérie 1005 à destination d'Alger et invitons les derniers passagers à bien vouloir
Give yourself plenty of time to go through security because that's when you can forget things. I've had some mishaps. One time I left one of my dead computers that had died on the trip in Italy on the belt, but I wanted to bring it home because I hadn't erased the hard drive yet. And that was a whole thing. I had to get the international aviation. I mean, I did get it back. And then another thing was I got so distracted going through security the first time I went to Hawaii by myself. This was 15 years ago. No, 20. I left my new fanny pack with $400 in it on the TSA belt. Don't do that. But see, it's really easy to get distracted, and I did get it back. So be careful. Stay sober. Don't have that drink at the airport because you'll leave something behind. I get really high from one drink, so I can't have any drinks at the airport. And one of the reasons I like to not drive in Europe is because I can have a glass of wine. And I walk a lot. So like those Champagne caves I went to the other day, I walked all the way. That was like a 8-mile round trip walking. I mean, I could have taken a taxi, but I do like walking a lot. The next day I did take a break. Okay, so the thing about apartments is don't always think there's going to be stuff in the kitchen that you're going to use that's going to work. Ask for, like I should have asked my people for a wine glass because I didn't have a wine glass for a month and I was having wine every night and I really like that stem. I do like those fancy glasses. So that's fun. And then I can't stress this enough about this transportation to make sure, double, triple check. You have everything you need for your transportation, train, bus, you're there at the right time. I don't like to hurry. So something I've learned in 17 years of travel is give yourself plenty of time. Like I've been here since 10:30, 11, so like 5 hours so far. It doesn't even seem that long because I've been making videos, I've been walking around. So it's better to be there than to miss it. I haven't missed a plane in 17 years. They've ratted out on me. They got canceled, but I was there. So make sure you're there because it gives you a lot of stress. Like, oh, another thing was today at the airport in the taxi. Oh my gosh. There was such a backup. It was as bad as Los Angeles, LAX. It was so backed up that just getting in front of the airport took some time. So take more time than you think you need and stay safe out there. There's a lot of ways that you can make sure you're safe and enjoy your time on your trip, journey, vacation, escape, adventures in the world. So tell me which screw up I've done that affected you the most. Oh, there's one last one. This has happened just a couple of times. I didn't ask about the entry. I like being on the top floor of an apartment so I don't feel people walking on my head on the ceiling. It really bugs me. It can wake me up in a heartbeat. And I forgot to ask that, which means many places don't have elevators in Europe. So that means I'm going to be lugging my suitcase and my baggage after being really tired up a windy staircase that could be narrow and has been and steep. So you want to ask about that because it might be something that is a deal breaker for you. And then one more thing, this is the last thing, the medical situation. Nothing bad has happened to me medically. Well, yeah, I did get in that motorcycle crash. But thank goodness it was in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, because stitches, x-rays, all kinds of stuff. This is in 2012, all it was $150. But I just read this horrible story about a guy that broke their neck in Tulum, Mexico, and he got recently, and they wanted like $20,000, and I mean, and these people were younger than me. Like, it's not something I've thought about a lot, but it would be a good thing to do some research about, in whether you really do need travel insurance. Like, I just pay out of pocket if something happens, but that was the worst thing that happened in all the 17 years, the motorcycle accident, where I needed to go to the hospital immediately. I could have died, and that's the truth. So you don't want to have that happen somewhere where you're going to get rooked. I was shocked reading that story. It's on YouTube right now. These two guys were our partners, and they went to Tulum for a birthday celebration. The guy ended up breaking his neck in the waves. Be careful in the waves, people. Waves are very powerful. People drown in Hawaii every year, and it doesn't get publicized because they keep it from the media because they don't want people to not come. So things are covered up. So after living there for 3 years, I found out. So do some research along those lines, and still remember to have fun, but that was painful today. I'm better now. So tell me what you think about traveling, and the traveling part is rough. But once you get there and you're having your glass of wine and looking at the sunset and meeting some nice local people that want to talk to you, it's wonderful. You feel like you're a kid again. You're experiencing life in a fresh new way, and I love it. So, bon voyage to me and you, and I'll see you in the next video.